Okay, I'll begin John chapter 11, starting in verse 17. I'm reading in the ESV. We're picking up the story of Lazarus' death, Mary and Martha. Jesus now is arriving into town. Now, when Jesus came, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off. And many of the Jews had come to Mary and Martha to console them concerning their brother. One of the things I'll mention here is that one of the Jewish traditions is for when someone dies, usually it's a 7-day funeral. You may put the person in the grave on the first day, but 7 days they will be mourning. Oftentimes there will be, wailing and mourning. There's a lot of it's a very dramatic time. A death in the Middle East and in many cultures can be very dramatic. That's what we're going to see here. So many of these Jews had come to Mary and Martha to console them concerning their brother. So when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him. But Mary remained seated in the house. Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you." Jesus said to her, "Your brother will rise again." Martha said to him, "I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day." Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die." Do you believe this? She said to him, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is coming into the world." Now we have to understand that Jesus was here, waited 2 days where he was baptizing. He comes now to Jericho. I believe this is where, it's not in John's gospel, but in the other gospel, he comes through Jericho and he heals blind Bartimaeus. He also sees somebody in a tree. Close, starts with a Z. Zacchaeus, sees Zacchaeus. Good, he sees Zacchaeus in a tree and says, "I need to stay at your house. Zacchaeus, come down, I'm staying at your house tonight." He's in Jericho. So now we know, he stayed here for 2 days longer. He comes to Jericho, stays overnight at Zacchaeus' house. Now he's going to make this trip, as I said, 5% grade, 14 miles uphill. 8 to 9 hour walk he has done. So he's taken him 4 days. 1 day stayed here, and now he's come up. He's just walked 14 miles uphill. It's taken him 8 hours. A little hot, a little sweaty. He doesn't go to their home. Why not? What is in their home right now? What is happening in this home?
All the people.
All the people, and do they have a lot of faith?
No.
No. Does Jesus want to go around to people with not a lot of faith right now? No. He just walked 14 miles uphill. He's a man. He's divine, but he's a man. He feels the physical strain on his body. He probably, like a shower, he arrives. And he doesn't go to their home, but he lets them know he's in town. And Martha comes, and we notice Mary doesn't. And that's why I want to point out, we see Mary as this incredibly righteous woman, that she's sitting at his feet. But in this case, she's not acting in a very righteous way. Jesus shows up. Mary does not. Martha does. Martha now has the maturity to go and see Jesus. She wants to give him a little piece of her mind. Why? Because it's very disappointing. He said her brother wasn't going to die, and guess what? He's been dead for 4 days. I mean, I want you to put yourself in this situation. He's been dead for 4 days. Not only has she been thinking about this, like, the people are even saying, well, Jesus, opened the eyes of the blind. Couldn't he heal Lazarus? Why didn't he heal Lazarus? Why didn't he heal Lazarus? Where's Jesus? He's your friend. He's Lazarus' friend. We know he loves Lazarus. Where is he?
How come he's not here?
Why isn't he here? Right? All this doubt and unbelief is being dredged up. And how do people, when people lose something valuable, they love to blame people. They love to figure out whose fault it was and focus on the person whose fault it was, who could have made it better, but he didn't. And it causes anger, and we see some anger here, and the anger is very real. Now, the beautiful thing is Jesus doesn't get angry with her and says, well, what did I tell you? This is for the glory of God. Remember, I told you it's for the glory of God. He doesn't say that. He says, your brother's going to rise again. Martha gives him some lip service about, yeah, we're all going to rise again, right? It's not a big deal, Jesus. He said, no, I am the resurrection. I am the resurrection. Because right now, to Martha, Jesus doesn't look like the resurrection. He doesn't look like he has any power at all. He's a 33-year-old who's just walked 14 miles up the hill. He's late, 4 days late. He doesn't look like he has any power whatsoever. And this has been fueled in their home for the last 4 days. In fact, since he's died, there's been nothing but unbelief. Nothing but, where is he? Why didn't he come? Disappointment. Disappointment after disappointment. She said to him, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who is coming into the world. Basically, I believe that you're, I'm believing now that you're the Messiah. I mean, he has to correct her, and she corrects. She's saying, okay, I get it. You're the Messiah. You're the anointed one. I believe. Now, when he asks her to roll the stone away, she's going to not believe again. But so it is with our faith. So it is with Jesus, who doesn't always give us what we want when we want it. Maybe when we first come to Christ or we first pray, we happen to get whatever we ask for. And then I don't know if you've noticed, but something happens and you pray and you don't necessarily get what you asked for. Why is that? What happens to a 2-year-old and you give them everything that they want? Is that good for them? It could be that there's some maturity he wants to develop in us. That if he's just a big Santa Claus, and we say, we just ring the bell and he comes and he does what we want, well, then we get to be the God and he's not. What he wants, and what's clear to me from this, that he wants relationship. He wants people to believe even though it doesn't look like it. That's called faith. He wants us to believe and to act as if it's true even though we may not feel it. Martha here doesn't feel it. We're going to discover Mary really doesn't feel it. She's even more angry. But God wants us to believe him. I want to pause right now, and I want us to take another look at our faith and the level of faith that Jesus is talking to Martha about. That in your life so far, God has done some things. There's been a relationship Martha had a relationship with Jesus. I mean, this is an interesting thing. He had eaten in her house. If you eat in somebody's house, that's a very close relationship. So she felt like he was obligated to come when she called him. In my mind, this was like, a new family practice doctor came to town and you had him over for dinner and he went on vacation and you called him to come back, but he said, no, I'm on vacation. And whoever it was that you needed, one of your family members died, and this doctor you had in your house didn't come back. And you thought you had a relationship with him. So she's treating him like he's a young doctor who just arrived in town. He's saying, I'm the resurrection. Is it possible that we need to look again at Jesus? Because maybe the things that he's done so far in our lives, he's done some great things and then some things he hasn't done for us, what we wanted, and we've downgraded him a bit. And Martha has done that, and Jesus corrects her, and she responds. So I want to take a few minutes now, and let's see if Jesus has a correction for us. Let's look at him, let's treat him as if he is special, will help us, even though we don't know when or how. Let's just take a few minutes now.